So I have this very generalized picture of how it will impact us. And let me take let me give this explanation within a sort of analogy, so as to say. So initially, when
Sure.
we as a programmer used to write code, we used to use Notepad plus plus. Even before that, we used to use Vim like tools, purely
Mhm.
keyboards, and we had an interface. Now
Hey,
we
I
use
use
IDE.
Vim today. I don't use ID. Come on, don't say that. I'm a Vim Power user, man.
I
Come on.
understand. I understand what you mean to say, and I'll, also, I will probably be able to either I will be able to learn something from you, or I'll be able to, kind of take your opinion into matter, and will say that, see, this also works fit in what I want to say. But let me say. So we right now, or at least majority of people, are now kind of using IDs, and the main perspective that I want to mention here is the amount of work and time it used to take to write a code in past times, and now the amount of time it takes to build something in past, and now it is way shorter than in past. So now we can work on more complicated things because we have frameworks built, or we have some ID support which helps us in XYZ manner. The
Right,
point that I
right.
want to mention is that the process has been becoming a bit intelligent, when it is assisting us to maybe write a code, or it can be like static analyzer and XYZ stuff. So the point is that we have been able to increase our productivity with the enhancement that we have been able to bring into the software that we have been using. Even when I talk about Vim and other softwares which are present, those software also have been benefited with the advancement in the frameworks, especially, at least like I mentioned, analyzer and stuffs. So that really helps out in many ways. The way I see AI, improve, building upon it is that it will further enhance the productivity of an individual who is working on a project. So let's say if
Mm-hmm.
there was something which was not possible in past because either it requires a lot of iterations and we just don't have time, or
Mm-hmm.
it is way harder to build something very big. Now it won't be the case, because again, the point is that AI will assist you, like in the example of an artist, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe earlier the artist, there are certain tasks which are still laborious, which artists
Mm-hmm.
might, let's say, if in case AI takes over, it will really
Mm-hmm.
help artists to increase the iteration speed and come up with something which he really wants to be out there, or go
Mm-hmm.
very wild as such, even if he wants or she wants.
Mm-hmm.
The point is this: the way I see this enablement in long run, whatever be
Mm-hmm.
the drops and ups in the whole journey, is that it will ultimately enhance the productivity of of us, or other people in the domain, on the respective domain, and they will be able
Mm-hmm.
to do things more complicated, which were initially in past not so much comprehensible to them that they can do. So
Mm-hmm.
that is where I kind of was wanted to mention that one of the thing that AI will still, even though there will be a human holding or final um, decision making, the
Mm-hmm.
fact that it will be able to take some of the generalized task from the people, and it probably will happen that that generalized task will be also, so in this current time we have something what we call it as generalized task, right? In future, the
Mm-hmm.
generalized task might be something, the definition of it might be something very different than what we have it
Right.
right. But the whole
The
story is
definition definitely will start to cover more and more complex or maybe abstract systems, actually. Absolutely. You're right
right.
there.
So the productivity will in general will go very high as relatively to the past, and that is how I see it will impact to the at least the industrial part of it. So we will be able to build more.
Agreed on that part, mostly, yes.
Right.
We have an agreement on that part. I would like to add one point in here.
Yeah.
As it has been with the case with all sorts of code generators, there have been code generators even way before AI. I started to work as a freelancer developer in my college time as well, where Code Igniter was all the rage, PHP 4's era I'm talking about. Then I upgraded to Laravel, then Python, then yeah, you have to come to Java eventually if you are on server side.
Right.
From there, I went back to Python, a whole lot of back and forth in here. And I can tell you, at least in PHP world, like forget PHP world, we already have had very, very successful code generators out there already. WordPress is one of them. And
Mm-hmm.
behind the scenes, like when you install a couple of plugins, you set up some configurations real quick, and it's going to write heaps and heaps of all complicated spaghetti PHP code out there. It's going to give your website and number of functionalities out there. So things, I mean, in this area, when we are going to have much more sophisticated code generator tools out there, pretty much like Copilot from GitHub and ChatGPT to a larger extent out there, there are all of the plus sides which you mentioned, with
Mm-hmm.
a pretty big downside as well. It allows people to be lazy. And yeah, it's kind of a good thing. It allows you to be lazy in the sense that a person like you might take being lazy in a direction that, okay, then I can focus on things which truly need my attention. Because
Right.
let's say I want, you want to create, let's say, some kind of a pager or some kind of a list out there. So Android has a very complicated way of list rendering, actually, if
That's true.
you are into UI development.
Right.
So what is the name of that thing? I forgot. It is some recycler
Uh,
view. My God, that thing. So you have
right.
recycler view, and you need to write a bunch of adapters and this and that. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about AI generates this thing for you? Then you can actually focus on the things which actually matter, like how do you tweak the content of the feed? How do you tweak the prioritization of what has to be shown at what point of time in your application? You can put your mind there. But to a lot of people, this actually means that now I get to be lazy. I don't have to write this anymore. So yeah, AI is writing it. Why do I need to learn it? And this approach is going to take you so far that when you have to do something complicated with this particular use case, you bust. And I've already started to see a whole bunch of people with this kind of attitude, since I have to interview regularly in my company,
Right.
particularly for front end positions,
Right.
beginner front end positions, because this is the area which was captured by AI first, actually.
Yeah.